Rebel salute, rebel salute, rebel salute to everybody out there, wherever you are, whoever you are, okay? To all Kenyans across the globe, whether you're in Europe, whether you're in Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, New Zealand, wherever. Karibu sana, karibu sana. This is your host, Kenya Revolutionary, for another session. We have an hour. Maybe we might do less or more, depending on what's going on. But there's a lot to go through. Some news here and there that some are disputing the news, some are not. But in case you're wondering, as you can see, the matter is Uhuru doesn't fancy Raila as the next AU chairman. Let's see. Is Uhuru really like that? Does he really want Raila to actually get this chairmanship position for African Union? We'll examine that because so far we've been seeing Uhuru with Yoweri Museveni. We didn't actually know why he was there. And then just yesterday, he was with Suluhu, the president of Tanzania. Okay, so he's making rounds with meeting these regional leaders, heads of states, Uganda, Tanzania. Where will he go next? Congo, Rwanda? Actually, he was in Congo, right, for the inauguration. Then he was also in, I think he met Kagame, I think, already. So he's making rounds within the eastern region of Africa. And the question is, what is he up to? Okay. Now, there are some people who are saying that he is vouching for, is it Jakayo Kikwete, the former president of Tanzania. He fancies him over his handshake brother, Raila Odinga. Is that true? I don't know. We shall examine. We shall find the receipts, see if this is true, because we're getting conflicted reports about that issue. We shall also see about that. All right. Again, the vote was out yesterday. Some members of parliament voted on affordable housing bill. Let's examine who absconded there from voting for the affordable housing bill. Sorry. Okay. Who was there in the parliament? Who voted yes, and who voted no? We are going to name them, okay? We are going to name them and shame them here for those who actually want to pass this affordable bill and who stood up and said no and who refused to even show up, okay? We shall examine that. And we shall also go through some tweets that are interesting out there. First, let me start by the ODM. ODM, let's start with ODM. ODM wrote something. They gave a press conference, not a press conference, but they actually wrote a taarifa ya habari. They wanted to say something. I guess there's some conflicting messages that has been out there in the news media that they are not happy about. Let's examine that before we get to the matter, okay? Because the matter today is very hot, as you can see. That's the main one. Uhuru might be fancying Jakayo Kikwete over his handshake brother Raila Odinga. What will that mean if that's true? Because there's some people who actually tweeted this. Standard, the newspaper. They actually say that. They say that yes, this man is actually vouching for Kikwete. So we want to look at that. Karibu sana. If you're watching this, go ahead and like this video before you even do anything. As soon as you see my face, please like the video. Like the video. Don't waste any time. Push that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, if you see this face, my name is Kenya Revolution. You can find me on X. You can follow me there. But subscribe on YouTube if you haven't subscribed. Subscribe. I know you've been watching. Some of you are watching this in secret. You don't want to subscribe. Unaangalia tu na unatoka. Leo ni siku yako ya kusubscribe, okay? How come you go to Ninio Benny Hins Ninio na unatoa sadaka huko? Me, I'm not even asking you for sadaka. Mi nasema tu subscribe. Finya tu your button to subscribe. That's it. Okay, so you can get my Ninio every time I go live. If you want to engage with me, I can put the link. You can join the studio and talk to me. Okay, so, I'm not a ghost, so you can actually communicate with me. You can have a healthy discourse about this, whatever is happening in Kenya. So subscribe, and if you're subscribing through your phone, wake up notification up. If you're using your iPad or whatever the case is, all right, whether it's Samsung, iPad, whatever the case, Samsung, hiyo kitu yote, simu yoyote ambao uko nayo, Nokia, whatever, just ukisha subscribe unaeka hiyo notification button, unasema he, unijulishe hapo Kenya Rebel akiingia live, na mimi nitaingia hapo nimuone, nianze kuangalia anasema nini. Okay, ndio akianza kusema upuzi, nami nitaingia hapo na nimchallenge, nimwambie bwana, wacha hiyo maneno mengi. Okay, so anyway, let's get to the mada. Let me get to the let's get to the ODM. I want to read their party news press release that they actually walitoa hapo. Okay, do you want to read it with me? Do you want me to okay, I'll show you in the screen so you know where I'm reading it from. I don't want you to think that I'm just pulling it out of nowhere. I will show you. Can I show you? All right, again, go ahead, like the video, okay, and subscribe. All right, let's go and read this this press release that they actually gave out a few hours ago or a few minutes ago, whatever the case is. I'll read it with you. Okay, mko tayari? I can't hear you, but it's okay. I'll read it anyways. I will read it. Actually, let me read it from. Okay. Let me see how clear it is for you. All right, it is clear. I hope it is clear. All right. So here is ODM writing something. ODM tuko tayari, Orange Democratic Movement. Statement on the scheme to sow division within ODM through false narratives planted in Kenyan media. All right, it's not lengthy. It's a short one. I'll read it very quick, okay? Are you ready, guys? All right, so pay attention. Hebu weka masikio tusikie, alafu tusikie kitu wanasema. Here's what they're saying in their statement. Okay. In the days following the announcements by our party leader, His Excellency Right Honorable Raila Odinga, of his desire to contest for African Union Commission chairmanship, the media in Kenya has been awash with false narratives and skewed pseudo-analysis about the called secession politics within the ODM party. It hasn't escaped notice that these fake news items appear coordinated, well choreographed, and consistent, which suggest a well-woven plot to incite division within the party is afoot. In these reports, media houses are falling over themselves to create a perception of fictional fights in our party over non-existent vacancies. Since its inception, the ODM party has remained the most consequential political organization in multi-party Kenya. This is no mean feat, but has been achieved by a strong leadership foundation, okay? Vibrant party structures, credible values, and strong party membership base. These virtues form the basis upon which any cessation or filling of vacant leadership position is conducted. If a time ever comes for transition within the party's leadership, we will make it public. May it go on record that His Excellency Right Honorable Raila Odinga is seeking an AU position, has not made any pronouncements regarding his local political future, and remains the party leader of ODM. We urge our members not to fall for the narratives currently being churned by the media. The party remains strong, focused on its mandate, and working for the masses in its role as the people's watchman. The biggest issue affecting Kenyans today is high cost of living and not party political secession. We understand politics sells, especially anything revolving around the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, but we urge the media takes only the truth to the market. As a publicly funded institution, ODM has always run an open door and kept the media abreast of all events and programs we conduct. Should the media require credible news from us, they just need to ask. Signed by Senator Edwin Sifuna, MP, Secretary General, 22nd February of 2024. Okay? So that's the statement there. They're basically saying that it seems like there's a choreographed effort by the news media, whether it's Standard, Nation, whatever the case is. They're trying to create this narrative that ODM is actually split, okay? And they're not happy about that. Kahawa break. Okay, I don't think it's, well, there might be, I don't know about the choreographed effort by the news media within the ODM party itself. I think it's more of the Azimio as a whole. I think that's what it is. And people will speculate, okay? It's their right. Even the media, why are you giving statements about this? I mean, Sifuna, what are you up to? Sifuna, where are you at? Can you come over here in Kenya Revolutionary? If you're watching this, come here. I need to ask you some questions. Why do you care if there's an choreographed effort by the media to kind of push a narrative that ODM is splitting? It's not about ODM. People are actually talking about the Azimio coalition in its entirety, not just ODM. Okay, the ODM party can sort themselves out. We are just people are just asking, with the absence of Raila, if Raila ever goes to AU and gets the chairmanship, yo kiti anatafuta, where does that leave Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua, Joho, whatever, Wamalwa, all these people who actually wanted to be the Kinara of Azimio coalition as a whole, not just ODM, okay? That's what people are asking, not ODM. Within ODM part, you guys can sort themselves out. Raila can make a phone call and say, hey, Babu Owino, be the head, or Sifuna, take over, or whatever the case is. That's not something that people care much about. We know it's a parochial party, regional party. It's, we get that, okay? The questions comes when we are talking about the whole Azimio as a whole, not just ODM. I think that's where the question is. That's where people are kind of speculating, okay? So that's that. But let's move on to the next issue here. That's one. I'll come back to that because everything is connected. Let's go to something else. Let's go to something else that actually shocked me. Something that really did what? Shocked me. Let's go to it. All right. Ebu kind of evil. Like I say, like the video. Don't wait. Like the video and subscribe. All right. Let's go to the second issue. The second issue is actually a much bigger one, was more shocking to me. Let's get to it. Somebody called Pius Kinuthia. I think his name is Pius Kinuthia. Let's look at this Pius Kinuthia guy, okay? Pius Kinuthia says something that he quoted the Nation, speaking of which. Actually, there it is. Pius Kinuthia. Are we ready? All right. Hey, hapa ndio sasa maneno iko. Let's see. Okay, are you guys ready? Here is the picture that I want to show you. Oh, shoot, right here. Crap. All right. So, are you ready, guys? Here is what Pius Kinuthia wrote on his Twitter page, and he was quoting the Kenyan Standard, which is a news rag out there in Kenya. So this is a legitimate whatever. Okay, can you see on the screen? All right. So here is what Kinuthia says in his page. He asked, why can't Uhuru Kenyatta support his fellow Kenyan? Why can't he support a fellow Kenyan more his brother? Uhuru betrayed Kenyans in his 10 years in office. He now wants to betray his own country even in his retirement. Now, here's the quote by the Standard.co.ke, the official website for the Kenyan Standard, which wrote, Uhuru Kenyatta says Jakaya Kikwete is the best candidate for AU Commission chairperson. My jaw dropped when I heard about that. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers, sisters, and friends, and comrades, this was huge. If it's true, did Uhuru say that? But this is a quote that was written in Standard Media. That, I repeat, you can see it on the screen. Can you see it on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, brothers, sisters, friends, and comrades? He wrote, it was written, Uhuru Kenyatta says Jakaya Kikwete is the best candidate for AU Commission chairperson. How dare he? And I guess that's what's trending right now. Now, these are the so-called handshake brothers. We remember the circumstances surrounding the swearing in and what led to the eventual, what we call now is handshake, or as my friend Dr. Miguna, not my friend, but Dr. Miguna calls it handshake. Okay, if you don't know what shit is, basically means shit. Excuse my French, but we'll use words like that sometimes once in a while, so don't get offended. We're here with you. But anyway, what led to this handshake? This handshake between Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga was out of convenience. Are they friends? Maybe. I don't know. Because, like I say, these guys, these political elites, tribal chieftains, they tend to be above the law. They don't live by the same rules as we do. These guys party together, hang out together, and all that stuff, all that stuff, all that stuff. So if you remember in 2017, once it was clear that the elections were not free, fair, and verifiable, Maraga, he ordered for re-election. Excuse me. Maraga ordered for another re-election. You know what happened? We know what happened. Nothing happened. Uhuru imposed himself on Kenyans. Okay. So Kenyans resisted and said, no, you're not going to impose yourself unto us. We rejected you. And so since you are doing that, we shall swear in the people's president, Raila Odinga, which they did. But Raila, again, as you know, famously turned his back on his supporters and went ahead and shook hands with Uhuru Kenyatta and called him brother after calling him, a drunk and all that stuff, the son of a killer and all that. You remember those, okay? So the handshake was done out of convenience, and once these two, they shook hands in the handshake government, Raila was given that AU infrastructure or something, okay? And Uhuru ruled unopposed, did whatever he wanted, didn't care about the court orders, nothing. The parliament was not even it was not a concern anymore. He did whatever he wants. He ruled by dictum. Raila kept numb for those 5 years, okay? So here we are, 2022. Uhuru said he will support Raila, and indeed he supported Raila. He endorsed him, but never really campaigned for him. Then Raila lost. And he was claiming, Sijui electoral, whatever. But it kept on changing. Mara, they wanted the electoral server open. Mara, Sijui they went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court looked at the evidence. The evidence was bullshit. And he lost. But anyway, he negotiated, went to the NADCO. But Uhuru was never present. He was never in this Azimio rallies or nothing. Uhuru was just kept away from Raila Odinga if he could. And he did, okay? Kept away from Raila Odinga, totally. So here you are. The handshake between Raila and Ruto happens. And Ruto, the negotiations happen, as we heard from Olusegun, who told us that, hey, we met in Mombasa, Suluhu was there, and some couple of people were there, and we decided that Raila will run for the AU position, okay? So Raila goes and announces that he has intentions of running for the AU Commission chairperson position. And here he is, Uhuru Kenyatta. We kept on asking ourselves, because we saw it in the news. Uhuru was being pictured meeting Yoweri Museveni. Yesterday he was with Suluhu. I mean, he was making rounds in Africa, and we were asking ourselves, what's going on? Uhuru, he's quiet. We don't see him in Azimio rallies or meetings. He always send rambe. Tell them that nimesema habari, whatever the case is, okay? But he never attends this Azimio's rally, okay? He never associates himself with these Azimio folks. But we keep on seeing on the news, hi Goody, and I seeing you. We keep on seeing on the news that, he's meeting these heads of state. So it seems like it's either A, Uhuru Kenyatta himself was soliciting support from these heads of state for that very position, or he was already in campaign mode. Please don't mention Sava. Or he was already on campaign mode, trying to get support, to rally support for Jakaya Kikwete, whatever his name is, this former head of state for Tanzania, okay? So that can be two of the reasons that we can say, two possibilities, because what would be the reason? Okay, someone might argue that Uhuru Kenyatta is a businessman, okay? Their family business, they have land business, they have milk business, they have whatever. So maybe he might be negotiating business deals with these heads of states for those specific countries that he visited. But the thing is this, in a huge corporations that the Kenyatta family actually own, why should Uhuru Kenyatta be the person to be talking to these heads of states about a business deal? I mean, he has Muhoho, he has people who are working for the corporations that can actually do that without shedding limelight on him. Because him, as a former head of state, if he meets the Ugandan president, for example, Yoweri Museveni, that will make headline news. Okay, so he knows that. So if it's something about business, Uhuru Kenyatta will not be the ideal person to actually send in Uganda to meet Yoweri Museveni to talk about business. Okay, he can do it chini ya maji by sending one of his, one of his representatives, emissaries, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so I don't think it was a matter of business, but a clear message was being sent. We kept on asking ourselves, why is Uhuru Kenyatta meeting all these heads of state? He's meeting the Ugandan president. He's meeting Suluhu. He's meeting Nani Kagame. He's meeting, he's all over Africa meeting these different head of states. We could not put it together. But here it is. The Nation, as you can see there, it says Uhuru Kenyatta says Jakaya Kikwete is the best candidate for AU chairperson. Where does that leave Raila Odinga, his handshake brother? Isn't that the worst backstab ever in the history of politics? Okay, somebody who you claim that you are supporting, you're supporting his presidential bid. Okay, then he loses. After he loses, the poor guy, he has his lawyers running to Supreme Court to see if there was something, there. He lost that in that petition, and now, he manages to get President Ruto to sit down with him and then negotiate a deal for him running for AU chairperson, chair position, and then you come out with statements like that. How dare you, Uhuru Kenyatta? I mean, I'm not a fan of Raila Odinga, and I'm not a fan of Uhuru Kenyatta, and I'm not a fan of Ruto. But this is, even among thieves and thugs, this is just a new low. How far, how low can you go, Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta? Your handshake brother, okay? Maybe they say it's true. There's no honor among thieves. Let's hear what Godia is telling us here on the comment section. But we are digging in deep, okay? So, my dear friends, okay, you saw there. I'll read it again one last time, okay? Uhuru Kenyatta says Jakaya Kikwete is the best candidate for the AU Commission chairperson. As I've mentioned, that is the chair that Raila Odinga is going for. And that's where it makes sense. Why, when Raila Odinga was making that announcement, okay, with Olusegun, in that press conference, it was only him and Olusegun Obasanjo. There was nobody else. It was only the two of them. There's a reason for that. Let's get it. Uhuru does not like in fights. He is a clever guy. Uhuru went to Tanzania to visit a friend in need. Okay, let's interrogate that. So Uhuru went to meet his friend, as you say, Suluhu. Okay, these heads of states, or these famous people, okay, or ex-heads of states for that matter, if Suluhu could sneak in Kenya at night, at midnight, where he met Raila Odinga and Ruto and Obasanjo, and nobody knew about it, right? Nobody knew about it. It was just rumored that she was in Mombasa until later on. Now, Obasanjo came and confirmed that that actually they met. Okay, right. So, what I'm trying to say is this: Uhuru Kenyatta could have easily avoided the limelight. He could have gone to Tanzania without anyone knowing. It didn't have to be on the press. It was so obvious when he visited Suluhu and Yoweri Museveni. They posed for a photo op, okay? They were greeting each other. It was done for the public, to show the public that, hey, I'm meeting Suluhu. Hey, I'm meeting Yoweri Museveni. Hey, I'm meeting Kagame. Hey, I'm meeting this head of state. So it was not something that was meant to be a secret. Okay? So whether it's a friend or not, to me, I'm saying if Uhuru went there to visit his friend Suluhu in his capacity as a friend, mere friend, not as an ex-head of state, why would he have the media and him posing with Suluhu for an auto op, to show the news organizations that, hey, listen, I'm meeting Suluhu here. We are shaking hands. You were hanging out. I'm just visiting my friend. Why will he do that? It's done to send a clear message. That's what I'm saying. Okay? Like I say, if he was going there to meet his friend, okay, he did not need to have the media, taking photos of them too. He could have easily called Suluhu and tell her, hey, listen, Suluhu, mwanangu, naja huko Tanganyika, wherever they met, okay? Naja hapo kesho, basi niekie chapati mbili na nyama choma, naja. Yeah? And he didn't have to, the media did not have to know about his visit, okay? That's what I'm saying. If he was going to meet her as a friend, the media did not have to. Si lazima media ijue ukienda kumwona rafiki yako, waelewa? That's what I'm saying. Uhuru did not have to let the media know, or Suluhu did not have to let the media know that they're going to meet as friends, okay? The fact that they met, okay, publicly, it was almost like an official visit of Uhuru to Suluhu at their state house, their version of state house, in public, which there was a message sent there. They were shaking hands. The same thing with Yoweri Museveni. So that's not just a friendly meeting. There has to be something more than that. And I'm getting to that in a second. Yes, go ahead. Kenyans like their friends losing globally. They're losing friends globally. Is that what you're saying? All right, let's read another one from Goodyear. Maybe Uhuru has not seen the qualification certificates of Raila, which might expose him to for fast track. You have seen Uhuru's qualification. We are going to get to those qualifications. I said it here. Here's okay. All right. And I know you're being facetious here a little bit, or being cheeky, Goodyear. I'm frozen. Dang. Okay. All right. I'm not frozen. Okay. Hear what I'm saying. Hear me out. Hear me out. Let's assume Uhuru Kenyatta saw those qualifications and he knows Raila Odinga doesn't have the master's degree. Okay. The best thing, if they were friends, if they're still friends, I don't know if they're friends or not. Uhuru Kenyatta can call Raila Odinga and be like, hey, listen, mzee, hii kiti bwana inataka master's degree. So, hii kitu bwana sioni kama utatoboa. He would say that in nyuma ya tent, okay? And tell him, so kitu naweza kufanya, they can actually dress it up as, so kitu naweza kufanya, wacha tu sisi tu ninio, we just endorse Jakaya Kikwete, come up with a press conference the next day and say, I'm going to support Jakaya Kikwete, okay? So we are talking in one tone as friends, okay? Or we can agree. However, whichever way you want to go about it. He should have called them Raila Odinga and say, hey, listen, the requirements need master's degree. Sasa sijui kama hiyo karatasi kunayo, kama huko mzee nimeangalia, unajua tumejua ulifanya ukarabati. So let's just dress this up as you endorsing Jakaya Kikwete. Sema tu hauna quorum, okay? Sema, hey, you are lacking quorum. It seems like a lot of people, dress it up in a way that fools the public, okay? Ndio usionekane to avoid the colossal embarrassment that is pending if you keep on going with this in case you don't have the qualifications. I don't know if Raila Odinga has the qualification. I doubt it, but I don't know. I have to verify. I have to be responsible on this. Sikumwaribia, sikumwenjoy. I don't know. He hasn't posted it. We haven't seen it. All his stories are inconsistent, okay? We'll get to that. But I'm just saying this. If Uhuru was respectful and is a friend, like I said, he would have given Raila a call and say, listen, Raila Odinga, this is the deal. I know you're running for this position. I personally, I think I'm going to support Jakaya Kikwete. And not only that, he can do that. He doesn't have to do it publicly. Okay? These things you don't have to do publicly. Okay? Because that creates a division. They know. That's why I'm saying for Uhuru Kenyatta, if indeed he said what he said in that hiyo gazeti hapo. So nimeona hiyo kwa gazeti Standard ndio imesema. Mimi nasema hiyo gazeti imesema hivyo. So I don't know if the Standard are lying, but that's what it says. Uhuru says he's going to support Jakaya Kikwete. He's the best person fit for that position. Okay? The same position that Raila Odinga is going to. But I'm just saying, for Uhuru to publicly say something like that, knowing very well, by now, unless you live in Pluto. By now, Uhuru knows that Raila Odinga is actually going for the same chairperson position, AU chairperson position, okay? Now, if he knows that, why should he go public and choose somebody else? See, kuna vitu zingine ukifanya hivyo ni kama it's almost like I'm defying what you're doing. I'm in defiance. I'm opposing what you're doing. Kama sisi ni mabesti, let's say I'm friends with Goodyear, na nikasema mimi nataka ile kiti ya kuwa chairman of KICC, whatever the case is. I'm just using an example, okay? And Goodyear knows that I want that position. And we are so-called friends. We've been on a handshake, willing support. We're on one party coalition, okay? If Goodyear, who is fairly also famous, comes in public, mbele ya umati ya watu, you know, and says, actually, I prefer having so-and-so being the chairman of KICC. I think that person is the best suited. It is as if you're saying indirectly that I'm not qualified. You see what I'm saying? It's already saying that I'm not qualified. It's a total betrayal. Now, if Goodyear would have called me and told me, hey, Kenya Rebel, that position ya AUC nimeona, you know, si kwa ubaya, mimi nitakwambia tu hapa bwana, mimi I'll be supporting bwana so and so, okay? So you let me know beforehand that you're going to support somebody else, okay? And you don't have to mention that in public, because we know there's this news that Azimio might be breaking. So why make things worse by saying you're supporting else? Because that will be like you're confirming the very thing that Sifuna was actually trying to convince us otherwise, even though he was just talking about the ODM in specific, you know? So I'm just trying. His such pronouncements by coming public and saying that I am supporting Kikwete is as if you're saying, Raila Odinga, you're not qualified. I don't fancy your chances of being the AU chairperson. You see what I'm saying? It's almost disrespect. We're in the same party coalition. We are so-called brothers, handshake brothers. I am the very person who was said to have been supporting your candidacy as for the president of Kenya, and you failed. And I never supported you in the Mandamano. I never supported you in the petition. I never even campaigned for you. And now you finally, you know, you were seeking an audience with the president. You actually did have a NADCO report. Mkakaa chini, mkatengeneza ninio hiyo plan. Then the president agreed to support me for the AU chairperson position. Then where with Uhuru Kenyatta, once you hear that, you go ahead and endorse somebody else from another country, while I'm your handshake brother, the so-called very brother, who you said you were supporting, who you are with, who belong to the same party coalition, unaenda una support somebody else from another country. That is the height of betrayal. I'm sorry, there's no other way of looking at it. No way. Okay? Especially if you go publicly, meeting Yoweri Museveni, meeting Suluhu, meeting Kagame, publicly showing me that you're not with me anymore. I mean, how else can you define that? It's borderline madarao, not even disrespect. I'm sorry, okay? So let's read about that. Yeah. You know, sometimes when Uhuru has had kahawa, he comes out with micro BS without knowing. You know, but you know, that kahawa you're talking about, you know, people, especially Uhuru, we know he drinks. We know he drinks. And people say that the most honest people are kids, children, and drunk people. Drunk people say the truth. They say how they feel, because alcohol inatoa yote. Unasema vile unasema. So Uhuru has showed his hand. He's like, hey, listen, I'm not supporting you. I'm sorry, Raila Odinga. So whether his reasons are because he knows Raila doesn't have that certificate requirements or whatever the case is, I don't know. That's up to Uhuru, but he just decides, and he has a right to decide not to support Raila Odinga. I just feel for someone who actually purported to be supporting Raila for presidency, someone who actually had a handshake with Raila Odinga, okay, governed together, okay, belong to the same party coalition, doing this publicly, okay, endorsing another candidate from another country for a position that Raila Odinga is also seeking is not only betrayal, but it's I think it's disrespectful, downright disrespect to Raila Odinga. Okay, now in fairness, there are people who came out and say this is not true, this is not true. I don't know. I'm just saying, for Standard News Corporation coming out in public and writing that quote, I didn't hear Uhuru Kenyatta say in public. I have to look for the clip if there is one. But if Uhuru said Jakaya Kikwete is the person that he wants to support, it's about to get ugly, even within Azimio. It's about to get ugly, because if I'm Raila Odinga, I'll start questioning. So, is this Sabina Chege and Kanini Kega leaving Azimio? Was it really Kanini Kega and Sabina Chege actually leaving this Azimio? Were they really the power behind it, or was it actually Uhuru Kenyatta who is behind it? See, if he does something like that, if I'm Raila Odinga, I'll question everything that has been happening within Azimio. I'll even question the things that happen during election. Remember Ole Kanchori, who said that the Jubilee part of the coalition walikuwa na kimbelembele. They're the ones who took over the mambo ya agency during election. Hao ndio walikuwa wanataka kumanage vile election inaendelea, monitoring the numbers and whatever. And according to Saitabao Kolencheri, according to him, he said that the Jubilee part of the coalition actually helped Ruto so to drop Baba, so Baba can lose. That is what he said. And actually, he said something very, 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 very interesting in regards to Raila's quest for the AU chairpersonship. Let's read it. I'll show you what Saitabao said. Let me just show you really quick. Saitabao, if I can get his name, Saitabao. He wrote something really. Saitabao Kolancheri. Saitabao. Some names, you have to actually pray for 3 days before you pronounce them. But anyway, here, I'll show you that really quick. Stay tuned. Let me like the video. Please don't forget to like this video so you can go out there, like it, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Don't forget, subscribe. Okay. Let me show you what Saitabao wrote today. This is the guy who wrote the book Baba the Fifth. It's a short read. You can go find it. I'm actually promoting that book in his page yake basi, okay? All right, you see that? I want to actually focus on that right there. Mnaiona. All right, this is what he says. Can you guys see it on the screen? This is the guy who wrote the book Baba the Fifth, and he explains why Raila Odinga lost the elections. And in the main thesis of the book is this: he is claiming that the Jubilee part of the coalition, they took over the monitoring, the situation room of the Azimio folks that was monitoring the election. They were monitoring the agents. They were the ones who were they were doing that. Okay, they took over that. And according to him, he says that these guys are the ones who actually handed Ruto the victory. It's like they were infiltrated by the Jubilee folks who were actually working for Ruto. That is what he said, not what I say. Okay. Okay. So here it is. Saitabao, this is the very same guy. He's saying, "Dear Baba, Raila Odinga, this AU thing is a poison chalice, a red herring, another long con. This one is actually the real long con." Umeona? Anaambia Baba, wamekuset up. You've been set up by Ruto. Do I honestly think that Ruto wanted Baba to be the AU chairperson? I think so. I think it will benefit Ruto. Okay? I think it will benefit Ruto for Baba to be out of there. Raila Odinga, okay? Goodyear is saying, let's wait for tomorrow. Let's wait for tomorrow when Ruto, Raila, and Uhuru meets in Kelvin Kiptum's funeral, and will be interviewed. And it will be interesting because they might talk politics. Yes, we know how politics. Oh, tomorrow. When is tomorrow? Friday. I didn't know when is. Well, oh, yeah, maybe it's Saturday already there, wherever you are. But yeah, I didn't know Kiptum's funeral is tomorrow or something. Is it tomorrow or Saturday? One of the above. But yes, it will be interesting because we know how politics are. Our politicians usually take the opportunity, instead of eulogizing about the person who's departed, they take that opportunity to talk politics. So I agree with you, Goodyear. It will be interesting to hear what they say. I personally don't think Uhuru will mention anything to do with him supporting Jakaya Kikwete. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. What I think they might discuss is Uhuru will try to be very diplomatic. Kumbuka, this Kiptum's funeral is happening in Wasingishu district, okay? That's Ruto's tough. So I don't think. I think Uhuru and Raila will be using a more conciliatory tone. Let's think as Kenyans. Kiptum was a Kenyan hero who made us all proud. So I don't think they'll go there and start talking about AU and how Ruto is messing up the country. I don't think that will happen. That is Ruto's stuff. If they start talking nonsense, not nonsense, but sorry, if they start talking, criticizing Ruto in his stuff, it might not go well. So I don't think there will be drama there. They'll be careful. But I'm just saying, if indeed this is true that Kenyatta is supporting the candidacy of Jakaya Kikwete for the AU chairperson position, then that is Azimio's broken. Azimio's ended. Because number one, as ODM and Raila Odinga, they should sit down and question everything. Everything. Because that, like I said, that is the height of what? Of not only hypocrisy, but it is nini hiyo ni inaitwaje, hiyo nani kumruka mtu. You can't be, I mean, after the handshake Raila akagreed to nyamaza. He never mentioned anything about Inio. Then he just, walikuwa mabeste, they were together. Uhuru endorsed him as he promised. Then you do this. Oh my goodness. That's putting a knife on your back. That is the height of backstabbing. The classic way of backstabbing somebody. Like this video, ladies and gentlemen. Like and share, and please subscribe if you have to subscribe as I go on. So this will be, I think this will be, if it's true, it will be the official split between Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta. That will be the official. They are going back to where they were before the election. Watarudi as far as 2007. Iyo vita yao, it will be clear. And the unfortunate part is this. Ruto has to pick sides at some point. He cannot bring these two together. Wakikosana, Ruto has to pick sides. Okay? He has to pick sides. There's no other way. He has to. Okay? Because think about it. And I think, there's a lot of, there's a movement happening in the Mount Kenya politics. Let me just touch on Mount Kenya kidogo. There's a growing sense of abandonment. People are talking about, especially, it's mostly Azimio folks, but they're driving this narrative that Ruto has dumped the people from the mountain. Okay, the Kikuyus. Let me just put it overtly like that. There's a growing sense that Ruto has abandoned the Mount Kenya people. And especially I'm saying this because most of the ODM folks are kind of driving this talk. They're saying, ujamaa aliwadanganya, mkampigia kura. Now look at the prices of coffee. Look at how the coffee farmers are suffering. Look at how you are doing. Mlikuwa mnafikiri huyu mtu ni hustler. Now see what's happening, okay? So there's this narrative that's being pushed out saying that Ruto will abandon the Mount Kenya people, okay? Okay, so oh, I'm breaking. Sorry. Can you guys hear me? Am I audible? Okay. Hopefully I am. Okay. All right, people. Can you guys hear me? All right. Let me go. Sorry about that. Let me go ahead. All right. Good. So, like I said, there's a growing sense that Ruto is going to abandon the Mount Kenya people, the Kikuyu people, okay, who voted for him, okay? So with this support by the president, this support of the president to Raila Odinga, supporting Raila's candidacy for the AU chairperson position, okay? This is like as if it's an official endorsement or accommodation of Ruto accommodating the Azimio folks to come in fold, okay? Remember, let's go back. Remember when Musalia Mudavadi went to Bondo and said, Mungojeni kidogo, there'll be some good news very soon. And before that, Wandai also went to Spice FM and told us that, no, not Spice FM, sorry. After Jimmy Wanjigi met Raila Odinga, after they had their reconciliation meeting, Wandai told the press that ODM shall be seeking a new what? A new coalition, okay? And I asked here, I said, there are only two major coalitions in Kenya, Kenya Kwanza and Azimio. So if ODM leaves the Azimio, they'll probably go meet who? They'll probably join Kenya Kwanza. I know it looks like something that we cannot imagine. It might not take form as the way we think of it. I don't think they will join Kenya Kwanza like saying, okay, we are declaring that today we are leaving Azimio, we are joining Kenya Kwanza. I don't think it will happen that way. This will happen by the patterns of voting, and they'll be together and also who they will endorse. Okay. Now I'll give you an example. This is what's happening now with Ruto making that deal with Raila Odinga in Mombasa with Olusegun and Suluhu and everybody else. It was agreed upon that Raila will run for AU chairperson position, right? Okay. So remember when Raila Odinga was making that press conference with Olusegun, he said that he's asking president, and he referred to Ruto as president now. He's no longer that's not my president, I don't recognize him. No. Now Raila is actually addressing Ruto as the president of Kenya. Now he's saying that he's seeking President Ruto's support for him to become the AU chairperson. Okay? And actually, he needs Ruto's support. Ruto is the one who will recommend him in the AU. So Ruto, in turn, sent Musalia Mudavadi at Addis Ababa, to put Raila's name out there so he can, as part of the candidates. Okay? So naturally, they'll have this, what do you call it? Symbiotic relationship, mutually beneficial relationship between the two. Okay, Raila will go run for that AU chair position. Okay, and in turn, this will give space and guarantee Ruto's win in 2027. Okay, right? Yes, Ruto is no longer Zakayo. Very true, good here. Now Ruto is no longer Zakayo. You chairperson amepata sana knows. In fact, somebody, like I say, I read Miguna's tweets how Raila metamorphosized from Ruto is not my president to now President Ruto should endorse, should support my candidature for the AU chairperson position. But so what I'm saying is this is how this coalition will happen. Okay, this is how ODM shall start working with UDA or Kenya Kwanza, whatever the case. This is how it's going to happen. Raila will run for this AU chairperson thing, okay? And of course, Ruto will support him. He's already said clearly that he will support Raila in that. And also, you saw those UDA clowns that were saying, hey, we support Baba, he's Baba. All of a sudden now, Baba see yule mzee wa maandamano wa kung'oa reli. All of a sudden, Baba now is the great Mandela. He has done so much for Africa. Wacha peleke kazi yake. The same nonsense, okay? But anyway, so he will go for the AU position, right? So Ruto will support him. And now you can see there will be a shift. Even in parliament, you'll see that Azimio, especially on the ODM side of the Azimio part, they'll start endorsing a lot of the things that the president is pushing through the parliament. Okay? Whether it's, of course, now they still disagree on the affordable housing, But the NADCO thing, they're pretty much together. Okay. So you will see that these two will start working together. Wataanza kusikizana. They'll have a working relationship. That's what I'm trying to say here. Azimio and Kenya Kwanza. Let me not say Azimio as a whole. Let me just say ODM. Because ODM is Raila's briefcase, okay? He carries it wherever he wants. He can do whatever he wants with that briefcase. So what I'm saying is this. ODM faction of the Azimio coalition will be working very closely. They'll have a positive working relationship with the Kenya Kwanza after Raila gets the AU chairperson position. Okay? And this in turn will guarantee William Ruto's win in 2027. Because again, who will stand against it? Once Ruto gets Raila Odinga on his side, who will beat Ruto in 2027? And let's be serious. Even if it's Babu Owino and because I know a lot of people are saying Babu Owino and Kalonzo, Babu Owino and Martha Karua. Name anyone in Kenya right now. The only person that can be, regardless of how Ruto has messed up, the only person that can beat Ruto is Raila Odinga. And even so, Raila Odinga is already kwa box, okay? Shaingia kwa box. The only other person who can actually beat Ruto is Okiya Mtata. But Okiya Mtata, I don't think Okiya Mtata is, I'm not saying he's not brave enough, but I don't think he wants to run for presidency. I don't think so. I don't think so. Anyway, let me read good here. 3 people who are going to benefit from Raila going to AU chair are Ruto, Kalonzo, and Babu Owino. Absolutely. Well, can you explain to me how Babu Owino and Kalonzo says? Yeah, okay, I see how. Because I know I see what you're saying. Because Kalonzo now will be the de facto leader of the Azimio, okay? Because he's the second most, Yeah, I see what you're saying. And Babu Owino will kind of be the de facto leader of the Azimio, of the ODM side. Okay, so I see what you're saying. So yeah, the 3 people who will benefit from Raila going to AU chair are Ruto. Ruto, of course, that will be a clear path for him in 2027. I don't see anyone beating Ruto in 2027 if Raila goes to the AU, okay? Then Kalonzo will be the head of the Azimio or even, it doesn't even have to be the head of the Azimio. He'll be the official opposition now. Yani he'll be the big gun in the opposition, okay? He'll be the person people will be looking at to go against Ruto, but he's not, I don't think he has the enough following to win the presidency to beat Ruto, okay, in 2027. Then Babu Owino, if Raila goes to AU, Babu Owino will be the de facto leader of the ODM. I would have loved to see, even though he will be the leader, but still Raila Odinga, Raila Odinga will not be involved in the day-to-day, because he'll be busy going here and there and whatever. But he'll people will be looking at Babu Owino to be the. To me, another growing person in that who is growing in stature within the ODM. There are 2 people, Sifuna and Otiende Amolo. Personally, I like Otiende Amolo. Personally, that's my personal choice. Sifuna, I see him as the next governor, but people are talking about Babu Owino is going to be the next governor of Nairobi. To me, I think Sifuna is the person that I would go for in Nairobi. But there's to me, okay, let me say this. Listen to me carefully when we are looking at the ODM side, okay? Just for a second. In every issue that is brought to the parliament, whether it's issue of governance or anything, when you're talking about matters law and its political implication, whether it's the incestuous relationship between the executive and the judiciary, or the executive actually having influence in the legislative body, the person who usually rises and breaks down issues, okay, is Otiende Amolo in a very reasonable, way. The other people, okay, you could. Mbadi is also, I like Mbadi, but Mbadi is more, Mbadi he works more on the background, okay? He's a noisemaker in the background. Oh, Babu Owino, like I said, I think he's too young. He has a bright future, but for now he's a bit bado ni mtoto kidogo. Okay. Nani Sifuna is that I think Sifuna is will a perfect fit for Nairobi, okay? In my opinion. This all my opinion. But to me, Otiende Amolo is growing in stature. I know some people feel like he's really quiet and is not aggressive, but if there's any person who really articulates issues in a reasonable way that resonates with the most Kenyans, I think it's Otiende Amolo on the Azimio side. The rest are more like, ni watu, ni sawa, they are okay, but there's nothing wrong with that. No. Yeah, no, and he's mentioning Martha Karua. Martha Karua. Where does that leave Martha Karua? Martha Karua, I think, is Martha Karua will dandia the next popular Ninio. Because first of all, okay, she's part of that Kamwene, all right? And I mentioned before that there's a reason why she mentioned that Kamwene. She started that Kamwene with Kioni, okay? It is designed to hop on the next move. I think the plan was ile government itaformiwa, the next formation of government, the government of national unity ambayo inakuja. Because remember, this guy's plan A was to push this NADCO thing, okay? And you had Otiende Amolo talk about that NADCO thing. I think I should I go about that? I think I'll go about that. I'll mention that. I'll go a little bit longer today, okay? Kahawa ndio hiyo iko kahawa tibim. Martha Karua, she formed that Kamwene for a reason. The thinking behind it was, in the future, we might have a government, what Wandai called an inclusive government. Not inclusive meaning that it will involve a lot of wananchi to have say in that government, but inclusive in the sense that most of these so-called opposition, members of the opposition, shall be included in that government, or at least their leaders, okay? That's why they're pushing for this NADCO, and Otiende Amolo was really pushing for it yesterday. And I have explained here, it's not going anywhere. It's illegal. But the reason why Martha Karua formed that not Kanini Kega, Kamwene, whatever, is because if you have your own party, it's a regional party, it's a parochial party, okay? It is designed to woo the Kikuyu Mount Kenya voters, voting bloc, to join this Kamwene, so that in the future, if we have this government of national unity, I'm just calling it that, this NADCO government that they're proposing, if they ever succeed to forming that government, Martha Karua can also bring these Kamwene people, the people that will be part of this Kamwene, she can have a better negotiating power for a position. She can claim that, hey, listen, I deserve to have, chair of, CS for the head of hiyo kazi walikuwa kupatia Musalia Mudavadi. What was this? The chief chair, chief something, CS, chief cabinet secretary, minister, because I bring this voting. Because that's all it is. It's all about what can you bring, how many votes can you bring, Ninio. Now you can argue that within Azimio, Martha Karua did not bring any votes, but she was chosen instead of Kalonzo because A, she's from Mount Kenya, B, she's a woman, so they thought that people will sympathize, people will look at her as mama, wakina mama will relate with her, ni mama, she's running, whatever, and she's also from Mount Kenya, so they thought maybe, being from Mount Kenya and being a woman, it will bring the Mount Kenya votes and the women. But apparently it didn't work, okay? So I think that's what's so this time Martha Karua forms this Kamwene to hopefully bring the Kikuyu Mount Kenya voting bloc in a negotiation for a position in the next dispensation if this NADCO thing goes through, okay? But like I said, I highly doubt this NADCO thing is good. Nani Koome, as much as people hate Koome, and I saw a part of this press conference, Martha Koome, the CJ, okay, her press conference was kind of embarrassing. You could see Justice Mwita just had her head down, just being embarrassed by listening to Koome having difficulty reading the press conference. But anyway, the written speech. But anyway, that's not what I'm trying to address. What I'm trying to address is this. Say what you will about Koome. The judiciary has done, in my opinion, if I was to rate them from 0 to 10, I will give them a 8 or a 7.5 out of 10. Okay? She made it clear that people should respect the law, the rule of law, and the separation of power. Because, and I know why she's saying this. She's saying this because what's going on in the parliament right now with the affordable housing. Okay? I mentioned yesterday that the ODM, Azimio, are right on this. This affordable housing, the way, okay, I'm not disputing the process in which it was passed because I wasn't there. I don't know what will happen. But for its what it is, how discriminatory it was, and so forth, so forth. That is what made it unconstitutional. But again, it is being dressed up, and they want to hurry it, rush it to the Supreme Court. Because remember, it has been rejected with on the High Court and Appellate Court. So this time they're going to the High Court, so the Supreme Court, okay? And who will be presiding over it? Martha Koome. And Martha Koome made that press conference because she knows there's a lot of law petitions that are coming in her desk very soon. She knows it. That's why she gave that press conference. It wasn't done just for fun. She knows it's coming, and she will have to make the difficult decisions because, again, she knows that Ruto was trying to impose himself by actually calling for that meeting with her, trying to persuade her indirectly to, afanye ile kitu, to pass these bills, because these bills, there'll be a petition against it once it passes the parliament, okay? They will pass. Even the NADCO one, which I don't agree with, Nani, I don't agree with the Otiende Amolo. And I'm about to play it. Should I play it? I will play it. I will break down today I will play it. I have time today. Let me play the arguments by Otiende Amolo. I said, for the record, I agree with Azimio in the issue of affordable housing bill. This thing should be scrapped. Well, just forget about it. This thing is a county function. As I mentioned, I don't want to sound the same like I already said it yesterday. The housing thing should be left to the counties because, for example, the housing needs in Nairobi County is not the same as the housing needs in Kakamega. That's the example I use. But let's move on. I didn't finish playing the NADCO issue. So again, just to refresh your memory, these petitions will come before Martha Koome in the next few weeks. After they pass this affordable housing, of course, as me have already said, remember in the press conference where they said it yesterday, that they will try to take it to court. Na koti ikininio isipokubali, they'll go to the streets, okay? But it's going to the courts again, and it will be examined, and we shall look at the constitutionality of it, if it's constitutional, okay? If it's within the constitution, is it respecting, is it breaking the law, okay? They will look at it. Same thing with the NADCO. Already they pronounced themselves, what's that justice? I forgot her name. That is not anchored in law. But this time, Otiende Amolo is pushing for it and is actually making arguments for it, even though it's not anchored in law. I think I mentioned that. I don't know if I should play it. Do you guys want me to play? Do you want me to play it again? Just to see what I was talking about? I might play it. No. So I'll play Otiende Amolo's argument. Then we shall name some names. The MPs that absconded or abdicated their duty. We voted for them to be our representatives, to go there to represent us, our interest. And when the housing bill issue was being voted on, they decided not to even show up. I would respect you if you vote yes or no. At least I know where you stand. But on an issue so important to Kenyans, okay, you fail to show up and you're getting paid exorbitant amount of money with the housing allowances, sitting allowances, okay, making all this money, but you choose not to show up. Your basic responsibility, eh? Lakini kwa funeral tutakuona ukisema hii housing levy sijui nini. we shall shame these MPs, and I will read all their names here today in this Ninio before I finish. So let's go to Otiende Amolo. For the record again, this is how we're going to do it as I keep on. And make sure you like the video, please. What are you waiting for? Tafadhali. Na sio tafadhali, sio tafadhali, ni tafadhali. Sio tafadhali, ni tafadhali. Can you subscribe? Can you like? Go ahead and do that. As we examine this, I will play out in the Molo. I'll speak on it. Then we shall name the names of the MPs that did not show up. We have their names, and we have to shame them. And I will talk about something else, how we can actually take out these MPs and senators who keep on letting us down. There's something we can do about it. And that's usually the first step of clipping Ruto's power. If we want to remove Ruto, there's some things we can do. We can start it from Mashinani by demanding much from the people who we give or donate our sovereign power. Who are these MPs and senators? There's something we can do. So the first step today, we shall shame those who did not show up. Shame them. Shame them. Okay? But let's start with Otiende Amolo's submission. He said he supports the NADCO report. He's with it. I say no, Otiende Amolo, this is unconstitutional. It shouldn't be going. It shouldn't go any further. There's nothing to talk about it. Scrap it. We're not going to talk about this. No, Otiende Amolo, no. But I agree with you with the heart of, as far as affordable housing bill is concerned, I'm with you, Otiende Amolo. I'm with you. But on the NADCO report, I'm not with you. I'm not. We have a constitution that needs to be implemented. So you can't play both ways. If you don't want the affordable housing of Otiende Amolo, okay, and you're using the constitution as the grounds for labeling this affordable bill to be unconstitutional, you cannot go and tell us and try to convince us that this NADCO report is constitutional, because it's not, and the judges have ruled so. So stop it in the name of Jesus. Stop it, Otiende Amolo. Stop it. But let's play, because here I kind of don't see eye to eye with him. But let's go and let's look at the video so you can have some sense of what I'm talking about. You might say, why are you just talking about Otiende Amolo? We don't know what you're talking about. Let's talk about Otiende Amolo, okay? I'm going to his Twitter page. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this, please, don't wait. Like the video. What are you waiting for? Hey, what are you waiting for? Like the video. Subscribe if you come out, just subscribe. Now, sio tafadhali ni tafadhali. Sio tafadhali ni tafadhali. Sio tafadhali ni tafadhali. Tafadhali. Subscribe. Let's go. Let's play some Otiende Amolo so we can go. If anyone wants to, please, if you want to get in, make a request. I'll put the link in. You can get in the studio and you can talk to me. If you want to join me, I'll put the link. We can talk, okay? But subscribe and share. Let's listen to Otiende Amolo, what he says. I think it's in his page here somewhere, where he was talking about this NADCO nonsense, which I vehemently disagree with it. But let's start with the objection of the bill, the objection of the housing bill, because that's where it starts. These are short clips, so bear with me. It's not too long. It's very short. They are kind of short. They are not 8-minute clips. They're just 1 or 2 minute clip that will help us understand the position that Otiende Amolo took. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at those. Okay, mko tayari? Haya basi, twende na Otiende Amolo, twende. There you go. All right. Here, the first one is his strong objection to the bill, the affordable housing bill, okay? He's addressing it. If I can get it to play, that would be great. By the way, now, all right.
Increases the tax burden on Kenyans by a good 3%. And while most people are already familiar with the 3%, what they are not familiar with is the penalty that is also prescribed, that if you do not remit that 3% within 30 days, there's an additional penalty of another 3%. So that in any 1 month, you are in danger of having to pay 6%, which can actually be recovered by court action. Secondly, and this bears repetition, it must be borne in mind that as national government is endeavoring to do all this, Schedule 4, Clause 18, and Schedule Part 1 and Part 2 makes it very clear that no matter how well-intentioned the government may be, housing still remains a county function, function. And the only thing given to national government is the policy. This bill is not prescribing policy, it's prescribing the way of doing it. That will remain unconstitutional no matter how you couch it. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, in terms of counties, this bill is very strange. It comes under the hand of the Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, and it purports in the purposes that it has nothing to do with counties. And yet, first of all, in the very face of the bill, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the bill, Clause 10(2)(c), Clause 12(3)(b)(1), both of them actually expressly mention the county. Besides, in their rendering of explanation, we have been told that actually they are getting land that is right now held by the counties. You cannot get land from the counties and say the bill does not concern counties. By definition.
Very good. Very, very good. I agree wholeheartedly with what Otiende Amolo is saying. You know, on affordable housing, I'm with you, Otiende Amolo. I'm with you.
Mr. Speaker, the question,
if I can make it larger.
Mr. Speaker, the question of land is not clear. This bill proceeds as if these units will be built in the air. There is no attempt to talk about land acquisition at all. In fact, more importantly, under the Constitution, whether it's land held on behalf of the county or on behalf of the national government, it is only the National Land Commission that is authorized to allocate that land. The bill does not even recognize the National Land Commission, and I've seen the submission by the commission itself. It was persuading the committee to have provisions on the process of land acquisition. Otherwise, you'll end up putting public money in land that is not even owned by the public. Mr. Speaker, this bill in a very serious manner makes several aspects that are very unclear. First, in terms of ownership, it does not make it clear whether we are talking of affordable ownership of houses or affordable rental of houses. It is totally confused. And if you look at Section 10 and 37 as read together, it's only talking about then paying a percentage of whatever, 10% actually, of whatever is deemed to be the worth of the unit. It doesn't say whether it's 10% represent the purchase price or the rental price. This bill again, Mr. Speaker, in trying to talk of administration, it becomes very confusing. In Section 11, the money is supposed to be divided three ways. Part of it is divided to the National Housing Corporation, another part to the slum upgrading program, and the third.
Very good. As again, I wholeheartedly agree with Otiende Amolo on the issue of the affordable housing bill. This bill should be done away with. It's unconstitutional the way they want to implement it. In fact, I will scrap it all together. I agree with Mr. Otiende Amolo. I'll play the last clip concerning this matter before we move to the next one, which has to do with
in Section 11.
Just if I can get it to go ahead. Yes, he made very, very, very perfect sense on this issue. Ladies and gentlemen, like the video as you watch, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and enemies and comrades. Like the video as we go on. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe.
Section 11. It then seeks to assume later in the bill that it is only the State Department and the board that is created that is administering the fund. The truth is, once you allocate land to the National Housing Corporation, to the Slum Upgrading Fund, you have no means under the bill of then superintending it. It means that only 1/3 of the money allocated under this bill will be superintended by the board that is created. Mr. Speaker, in all fairness, The bill then does something very, very dangerous in section 2A. And Mr. Speaker, we all know that the collector of taxes is the Kenya Revenue Authority. But this section 2A then authorizes any other person appointed by the cabinet secretary for the time being responsible for national treasury for the purposes of collection of funds under this act. We are enabling an entity who is not even said to be a government entity to collect government taxes. We must be the only country that can do such a thing. And besides, you know that later on, 2% of the monies allocated are then allowed to be retained by this actor. Who is this person that we are giving the possibility of collecting monies that belong to Kenyans under this fund? Mr. Speaker, I wish to submit that however well-intentioned, this bill still requires a lot of proper analysis and engagement, not at the level of drafting, but at the idea level. It is still premature, it has not been well cooked, it is being rushed, it will end up being in problems. I so submit, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
I agree wholeheartedly. Thank you, Omolo Otiende Amolo. Now, let's read the names of the people who did not show up and the people who voted for this bill and the people who actually voted no for this bill. Let's read their names. Are we ready? Okay, if you see your MP there, write his name down and go call him and go to his Twitter page or whatever the case and find him. Tell him, hey, what's up? Why didn't you show up? Why didn't you show up in the parliament na kusema yo maneno? Speaking of affordable housing. So let's go to it. Let's get to it. Are we ready? Okay, let's get to it. Ebu tuangalie hapa mara moja. So we can find their names. I have their names somewhere here. These people, their names are in here. Let's see. All right. Okay. Here is the, okay. 149 MPs were absent when voting went on for their affordable housing bill. Are we ready for the list? Are we ready? Like the video because we're about to read some names of the people, the 149 MPs that did not show up. They were absent. And these are the MPs that we actually need to recall. The problem is the Election Act, I think it's section 45, actually gives them 24 months before you can actually recall them. 24 months after they are voted in and 24 months before the next election. So it gives you a window of maybe like 1 year or 6 months, whatever, where you can recall them. So that is the law that we need to change in order to remove people like this who should be taking part in a vital voting legislative function in the parliament, but they chose not to show up. They had better things to do than vote for a affordable bill that actually will not be benefit the majority of Kenyans. So let's check out their names. Let's read their names before we actually finish up. Can I? All right. With your blessings, ladies and gentlemen, brothers, sisters, friends, and comrades, with the power vested in me, I shall read their names. If I can only get their names here. Oh, they are so lucky. They are so lucky I can't see their names. Go to Mwangi Capital, Ninio Twitter page. You can read their names. They are lucky. I couldn't read it. I can't read it from here. I cannot read it. It's not legible from here. They are so lucky. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies and comrades, I will stop it there. I wanted to talk about the NADCO thing and I wanted to play Otiende Amolo's NADCO position, but I won't. I'll stop it there. I just want to wrap up before I wrap up, I just want to kind of go through what I just talked about. I mentioned that if indeed, let me take this out, all right? If indeed Uhuru Kenyatta is endorsing Jakaya Kikwete, the former head of state for Tanzania, president of Tanzania, instead of, thank you, Goodyear, if he chose Jakaya Kikwete or endorsed Jakaya Kikwete instead of Raila Odinga, his handshake brother, then that can be problematic. It shows that Uhuru Kenyatta is not loyal. In fact, that's utter disrespect. How could you? Somebody who actually agreed. Remember Uhuru Kenyatta, let me remind you very quickly, if you're listening, Uhuru Kenyatta or you Uhuru Kenyatta fans, this is a man who could have actually dethroned you from your presidency. The people chose him in 2017. But instead, he turned his back on the people and had a handshake with you, Uhuru Kenyatta, so you can sit on that seat. Yes, you probably paid him. Yes, you gave him that AU infrastructural nonsense position. Yes, you did that. Right. He did that for you so you can stay in power, okay, and maintain your last 5 years. Then in return, you said you supported him in the last elections. Now it's coming out that Jubilee maybe helped Kenya Kwanza in winning the election. You never campaigned for him, okay? And here he is when he needs your support most. The president has supported him. You chose to go with Jakaya Kikwete, okay? How many times shall you backstab your friend Raila Odinga? Not that I feel sorry for Raila Odinga, because Raila Odinga, in my opinion, betrayed the people in 2017. So maybe he deserves it. But I'm just saying, as handshake brothers, why should you endorse Jakaya Kikwete instead of your handshake brother Raila Odinga? Is it because he doesn't have the requirements? He doesn't have that certificate? Or is it out of sheer spite? Huh? Why is that? Or did you and Ruto set him up for this failure, for this colossal failure, and the embarrassment that will accompany it in the event that he doesn't get his position? Uhuru Kenyatta, what's going on? To the statements by ODM, nobody really care about who takes over the ODM. It is more of the Azimio coalition who will stand there. That is who people care about. Okay? Now, what's Goodyear telling us? Why didn't they walk out before the debating the bill? I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe they just wanted to make their point before they did. I don't know. I'm assuming. I don't know why. All right. What else? Why did they walk out before dealing with the issue? That's a good question. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have the answer. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies and comrades, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much, Goodyear, for joining me and commenting, chiming in on what was going on. I think it was just interesting that Mr. What do you say? Have seen Uhuru enjoying his acquired entitlement when he comes to Europe. Yes, I heard he has like an apartment complex in London somewhere, and real estate in London is one of the most expensive in the world. So that gives you an idea of how rich the Kenyatta family is. I mean, this guy has a private airstrip in his house. He can literally walk out of his house and get in a private plane and fly to wherever he wants to go. That's not the topic of discussion today, but what I wanted to highlight. Remember? Yes, I remember the $20. If Raila gets to that position to departure $20, if he doesn't, I'll give you $20. I don't know how. Yeah, I think that's the deal. Yeah. Absolutely. I remember. Thank you so much, Goodyear. Thank you for everyone who's been watching. Please like the video, share, comment, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It's Kenyan Revolutionary. I might have another topic. I might come in live later on today, depending on how my day goes. I have a few things I have to do. Then maybe if I'm free up again, I might come back and give you another maybe 30 minutes or an hour of a discussion, depending on what happens. There's so much happening. But anyway, again, I want to thank you individually, everyone who clocked in and kind of, pipped in and saw my face and they watched. I want to seriously thank you. And please, again, just take a minute. Na sio tafadhali, ni tafadhali. Sio tafadhali, tafadhali. Subscribe, like, share, like, subscribe. This Kenyan Revolution is 3, the Trinity. Subscribe, share, like, subscribe, like. And you can comment, okay? Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. It's been fun. I'll see you guys sometimes later today, maybe. Or maybe tomorrow if I don't see you. I'll be here. Are you going to be here? It's Friday. Utakuwa hapa? Sawa. I'll see you then, all right? This Kenyan Revolution. Peace and blessings. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Deuces.